wait till we start walking?
I'm not even grabbing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do either. I'm going to wait to see how many.
Hey, he said we're live.
Hey.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
And I'm Chris Markey.
Welcome to episode 63 of Behind the Toolbelt with TC Backer Construction. We're live here at To The T Outfitters with a very good friend of ours, Chris Markey. Not only a good friend, but a good business partner and partner in crime.
Absolutely, mentor,
pot stirrer.
Stop.
Yeah,
Just stop.
yeah. Sounding board, all that good stuff. Advice
Just
giver.
stop, guys. You're going too far. Keep going.
Right.
No, we're live on set here. This is where we get all of our merchandise done. Chris does a lot of stuff for the community. Does a lot of stuff for TC Backer Construction. So we want to bring the set here to his office to kind of show how he does his stuff behind the scenes. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff that we're going to get to see. We're going to get to see how the sweatshirts are made, how the hats are made, embroidered. We're going to have some screen printing that we're going to get to see. Basically from start to finish, the entire process of how he gets this stuff out, and how he pulls off these last minute orders on Christmas. And,
Yes, he does.
And all that kind of stuff.
For one person.
Thank you.
One. You're taking that?
Thank you. Listen, that's why, I'm telling you, he is a miracle worker for sure. He has pulled off some incredible stuff, and we really want to show people what you do here. And what you do is not easy.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It's definitely not easy what you do.
It's not, and it all comes down to, listen, I watch your show every week. I'm a fan of Chris's. And
I appreciate you, Chris.
But I'm a fan of the show, and I think some of the things that you talk about is you talk about the love of your employees. And we all know, in every show that I've been on, we've all said it, look, we don't, it's a great feeling when your employees say, hey, can you go get lost somewhere? Like, just get out of the way.
Right.
Just go.
Yeah.
And what we have here and what people will be able to see here is not because of, in some ways we've been able to, do the right things and buy the right stuff, but a lot of what you see here is because of what the employees here they've come and said, no, this doesn't need to be that way, or this doesn't need to be, let's do it this way. And first of all, let me give a shout out to the two special ladies at my house, my wife Melissa and my daughter Addison. Obviously my son Mason works here, and Garrison's out there probably doing something with his friends right now. But they are a part of this too. My daughter and my wife. I know Jana's. Everybody has people that are involved.
Yes.
I don't say enough about that.
I understand.
I don't say enough about that. And without that support system, not only from the employees, but only from family, without that support system, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
And, it all goes all the way down. You talk about the guys in your shop, Chuck. Chuck and Tammy were two of my first employees. And then it goes on down the line, and everybody's jumped on board. And we'll see some employees here, some that aren't here. Kelsey and Tabby, they're rock stars. Yes. Everybody comes in. You see them every time. Yes. They're like, hey, it's Mr. Roofer. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they just get the hell out of the way and let them do what they do.
Well, that was clear, man. We came here yesterday and just did a little pre-show, tour. And kind of talked about some things on how we were going to set this all up and how we were going to try to flow it and everything. And, that was the middle of the day. So, you're pumping, everyone's doing their thing. And you can walk in a place and see if stuff is staged. You know what I mean? If everyone is really not happy to be there and they're forcing smiles and that kind of stuff, everyone was joking. Everyone looks to see. It seems like they love what they do. You know what I mean? And that's important.
It's very important. And so what we're sitting in here now is like the showroom. I don't like the word showroom because really the showroom part of this is in the back. So most of the time when customers come in, and I'm open to bring any customer in at any time and walk them around because our shop's clean, our people are working, we're doing the right things, and the showroom, you can see product, but usually, and it happened to you yesterday, Chris. Ty's been here a couple. Well, Ty makes himself at home, but but you came in yesterday, and I was like, "What do you think, Chris?" And you're like, this is not. Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Not what I expected, man.
Right.
It wasn't what I expected.
And we talk about that. We talk about how the growth is. So we've been here. So June will be 15 years for us. We've been here 6 years. So we got a good landlord that treats us, Mr. Bricker, Bricker's Fries. give a shout out, Mark Jones and
Yep.
Stacy Jones. They do that stuff too. He's family to them. Mr. Bricker's been nothing but gracious to us. He's allowed to do us things in the building. I mean, anything I want to do back over, he always comes over and likes to watch the shirts print, and I buy new machinery, and he gets them off the truck, and then he'll yell at me, "You can't even get them off the truck yourself," but yet he's the first one here when the truck pulls up, like, "Hey, what'd you get today? You know, what are you buying?"
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is the showroom right now, and Vic, so you know, I'm just going to talk about it. And these guys wanted me to talk about it, and you guys can ask questions as we go along. In our showroom, do we keep everything? No, but we keep as much as we possibly can in here. We have reps that come in and they take care of this stuff. Also, in January, we come back in and we go through everything, take out the old stuff as it goes in, and bring in new stuff.
Right.
Sometimes as you come in the shop, you can be able to see what is here. So like Ty put up a shirt, that's a tackle twill with some sublimation on it. We've done some stuff for Felton and baseball. So you'll be able to get to see jerseys and polos and everything. If you have a second, Vic, I'm going to walk over here so the guys can see it. So we try to set it up. We try to set up everything so it makes it easy when you come in. So when you come in, it's basically by vendor, and you'll be able to look at it and see what that vendor does by what's on the rack. So on the rack, you look at this and you go, "Oh, okay." And we can say, "Hey, listen, this is this vendor, that's that vendor. This is a Badger rack. Badger is under Founder Sports. We have a great rep for Founder Sports, Jeff, and he does a great job for us. They have a lot of companies are merging, so you'll start to see a lot of companies merge in all this. So essentially, that's how we have our showroom set up. Vic, I'm going to move a little bit so you can see. In this corner, we have Sanmar. This is Ty's favorite quarter. He comes down in here and buys all the North Face and the Eddie Bauer. And we do Carhartt, which is up in the front corner. But, you know, we can do anything from, you like the
Now,
green?
could you get reflective tape or something put on this? Like if I wanted to get something like this for the landscapers?
Yeah, you can, but a lot of these jackets come with it already. So
Okay.
why would you want to put it on? Because these
Sure.
are coated. These are coated with a like a waterproof coating on it. So when you have a waterproof coating on it, you don't know what you're going to get when you try to put something on it.
Nice.
But the racks are moved around a little bit right now. But usually it's a good way to come in and see things. Obviously with COVID, you know, we've had to deal with people. We don't want to bring people in. If you have masks on, we're a little more comfortable now to come in. But it's usually one at a time. Make appointment ahead. But we try to keep as much as we possibly can here. We do a lot with schools and corporates and all that. So when you come in here, it's a little bit of stuff, but not everything. And then we try to go from there. So as I walk over here, Vic, I know we're moving around. I'm going to make this quick. We have our Carhartt and work stuff in the front. There's many different companies that do this. Yes, there's Carhartt. Yes, there's Dickies. Yes, there's Cornerstone. We also have safety wear. There's multiple different companies, GNS and all that we deal with. We are an elite vendor with most of these. We belong to a buying group that allows us to basically get any vendor with anything that we want across the country. Being in a buying group, I'm sure a lot of people know, that's why you get good pricing. There's deals that come along that they don't give to other people. I know you're in with one that you just got signed up as an elite vendor with GAF. Congratulations.
Yep,
Congratulations. Yeah, Master Elite.
Energy.
And that comes from being in that buying group. Those vendors come to you and trust you and do a little bit more.
Exactly.
So, you know, we do have a workwear session. We can get dry duck and burn and all the other stuff, but we try to say, hey, here, get an idea what you like, and then we'll send over and say, okay, here's 4 different styles of the same jacket from different companies.
Wow. Yeah, I know for us, you definitely, the variety that you offer for us, whether it be a thinner hoodie for spring, whether it be a thicker one for summer, or t-shirts, you do polos for us, you've done hats, you've done the fishing tournament.
Shirts. We'll see one of those shirts a little bit later.
Cool.
Yeah, we have the ability to do all that, Ty, and a lot of it comes from the questions like you guys. If I'm coming to get windows, it's the questions you ask up front that'll tell you, and then that'll guide you. And fortunately, we have some great reps. I mean, across the board with Pennant. I mean, we Sanmar reps are awesome. I mean, we're fortunate to have good reps across the board. Yeah. So a lot of times and I guess maybe it's because when they're not a good rep, we'll tell them. Chuck, my sales manager, is really good in a nice, subtle way to be like, look, you just have to email us, tell them when you're coming in twice a year. But if you don't show up, we're not going to sell your product. I mean, he's really
Who wants
good.
to see them?
Hey, well, we want to see them. Listen, if we're
right.
selling your product, and we sell a lot of product,
Yeah, right.
if we're selling your product, then we want to know what the new stuff is coming on
I
and
totally
why
understand
is
that.
it good.
Right.
What makes yours different than A4,
Right.
or what makes yours different than Sanmar's ST350? Tell us why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and they can tell you why. We can go to the show and see it, but a rep walks in with a rack and he goes, "Okay, I'm going to go down a couple of new things. Hey, where this is going out of line," and immediately we're thinking like, "Oh, Ty's going to love that thing. Can we get samples of
Okay,
that?"
so the one thing that keeps going through my mind, I don't think anyone ever, while they're growing up, says, I want to grow up and be a t-shirt maker. How on God's green earth did you ever decide to get involved with making hats?
Great question. So I think we jumped on it a little bit in the first show I was on.
Uh-huh.
So real dear friend of mine, Casey Campbell, who's now the general sales manager over at Toyota of York, came to me, said, "Hey, listen, I got this idea. I was selling mortgages. I was an entrepreneur before that, and got out of it to get into mortgages due to separation in a marriage, and so I decided, like, yeah, you know what, I want a chance at this or do the entrepreneurial thing." And he came to me, and we started in my basement with a laptop, and he's like, because he was working at another company, I think they were bouncing his paychecks or whatever, and we got together and we started this and we came up with the name, and we just moved on from there. And I'm a learn on the fly guy.
Yeah, I get that. I totally
sometimes
like that.
Some of our best conversations, Ty,
Yeah.
have been because, all right, I'm going to throw this out, or you'll be like, "Hey, what do you do?" Or, "Hey, how do you do it?" And I always want to talk to those people that have bigger companies. I think I told you before. I have some mentors. Bob Davis from General Machine. I can call him up and he'll, talk to me, or I can buy him some drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
Mike Weckert. So when we do all of that, when I do all of that stuff, it gave me more information about the business side. We all think you can run a business. Oh, brother.
Yeah. Right.
I remember going in speaking in a class at Penn State York. They wanted me to speak. I don't know. There was probably 200 people there. And the guy that spoke before me was a banker. Now, my wife's a banker. Nothing against bankers. You need them. But the guy spoke before, and he was like, "Hey, you need a business plan in 5 years." And how do you feel about the business plan, Ty?
Right. I did probably the exact opposite of a business plan. when I
Amen.
started the business.
I walked out and
Yeah.
said, "They're not going to like what I have to hear."
Yeah.
I
right.
started on a credit card, a
Yeah.
$20,000 credit card,
Yeah.
and I bought a laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I figured it out from there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
his
need
head's probably exploding.
yeah.
I mean,
I went to Walmart and got a prepaid cell phone.
there you go.
That's how it started. In
Yeah.
the basement of a friend's house of mine.
Vic's back there trying on the clothes.
Yeah.
You might want to check your camera because it got bumped there, brother.
Yep. No,
But-
so a business plan. I mean, now looking back, would there be a lot of things I would do differently? Probably, but to be able to start with doing a lot with little, I still have that mentality today. Like, I don't finance everything, and I try to pick and choose what I do if I have to finance something, but a lot of that mentality of I haven't lost that. And then going through the recession, I'm glad that I lived that way, not beyond my means, and haven't thought that I have arrived and driving a Porsche, or I bought things that made sense.
Yeah. One of the things is really influenced by, so my kid's grandfather, so my ex-wife's dad, ran a steel erection business. So they raised steel, and he was always like that. And I was really impressed by it because he had money. You know what I mean? And and then there was always a story going around the family that he walked in to look at a Rolex. He worked real hard and wanted to buy himself a Rolex, and the lady's like, "I don't know if you could afford these, sir. I'm going to go down here." And you remember them telling a story. They were down to Baltimore and Harbor, and he's like, "I need to find a ATM that's going to get me the money out of it because I'm going to show this lady." Like, that was one of the only times he did it. He didn't need to really do it, but because of how he lived, don't tell me what I can and can't afford.
Right.
Yes.
You
right.
know,
Just,
and
don't judge me by the way that I dress.
Yeah, and
Or look.
they can't judge you. I just had this conversation with my son Mason the other day. And people can't judge you by also what you have in the buildings and all that. They can say all of that, but really, when I put my head down, not only am I responsible for the people that live in my household, but I'm responsible for 17 employees. So I'm responsible for 17 employees and all their. I get every one of, and I'm sure you do, one of their issues. You know what I mean? Well, I don't want to show up because my son's so-and-so, but hey, and I don't have any vacation days, but I want my job back. you know, sometimes we're a psychologist, sometimes we're a psychiatrist, sometimes we're a sociologist, sometimes we're an accountant, sometimes we're, hey, how do I buy a car? Sometimes we're all of that.
Absolutely.
And
I've helped guys get bank accounts. I've been a marriage counselor. I've, you know, and not that I've done, I can tell you exactly what not to do on those things, but I really can't tell you how to do any of them. You know, and that's where my advice comes in.
Yeah, and you know, let's go back to your original question. So through all of this that has gone on for 15 years, would I ever change it? No. Is there something I would do different? Couple things, smaller, you know, but the way it has gone and the decisions that I've made, I am a gut feeling guy. And when I get a gut feeling, I go with it. And then, you know, it's like a game. I'm a football and lacrosse coach. You know, you go through a game, and if this isn't working, we're going to make an adjustment as we go. And hopefully that adjustment's a small adjustment, right? It's not like, you know what, we're going to have to start all over. And fortunately, having that attitude has allowed us to move down and allowed us to do stuff like this. So, you know, I don't want to, I mean, I love my business and I want to talk about it, but I really want to show it today too, about what we do. And that's what's important to me. What's important to me is to see the hard work that the people put in, because I can tell you, you do. You show your pictures, the days you go out and all that, and I want to, you know, I want to show that, because I can talk to, there's multiple different ways to talk about how to run a business, and not everyone's right. You know,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And businesses are different. You do something totally different than what we do. You know what I mean?
But does it get you there? And is it not illegal?
It's not illegal.
And just to touch on that a little bit, you know, you don't necessarily want to go back and change stuff, because some of your greatest educations come from failures.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily a failure; it's a learning experience. So if you go back and you change all of your times that it didn't quite work out and it didn't go the way that you planned, well, now you're not going to have that education and the stuff that you know now on what didn't work.
My biggest challenge, Chris, is when you work all those years and it comes to you and you had to change it and practice it and go through it, and it's so easy for me, but to explain it to him, I'd be like, what do you mean you don't get that? Like, look, it's easy. This goes here. Everybody, now I see the job of a teacher. So I'm standing at this desk with one child, and I turn here and go to the other child, and it's totally different. I gotta put on a different hat. Like, I don't envy that. I mean, I do it here. When I walk around, how am I going to approach Brian compared to Mason, compared to Jason, compared to Pat? I mean, it's totally different.
We talk about that all the time.
That's part of being a manager. I mean, you have to understand your people, how to engage them, you know, how they perceive things, because you can come down hard on one guy because that's how he gets it, and he's going to shake it off, and it's going to be business as usual. But the next guy may take that home with him and be like, man, like that really affected me, the way that you said that.
And take the wind out of the sail.
So, Vic, let's start moving around here. Let me turn around you this way, buddy. All right, we're going to walk over here. So we have a little corner. Just so you know, we sell a lot of equipment, but we don't keep a lot of it in here because it's something you have to put so we sell shut helmets. We can sell lacrosse gear. I mean, you name it, we can get it. I mean, we sell bats. We're a big baseball, softball bats. We sell... I mean, if you drive past a softball field, and we can go from the fence to the fence covers to the foul poles, we can do all of that. Fortunately, we've been blessed to have a guy, Pat, that joined us, Pat Stafford, who's also the varsity lacrosse boys lacrosse coach at Redline. He joined us and started that. He's kind of gone into doing that, as well as doing some commercial, working with some commercial accounts for us. But we do have that opportunity. We can get it, and you know, we can. If you need it, we'll find it. You know, it's a kind of, I feel funny saying that, because when you talk to Ty, a lot of times he'll be like, you know, if it has to do with what we do, I'm going to find it and we're going to do it. So, you know, let's pick this up and we'll start walking around so everybody can see. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to walk you back through here and kind of walk you how through the process is, so everybody can see. We've been blessed with a big building. This room that you're in right here now, Vic, this is our receiving room. So we have a big dock out there. We get between 30 and 60 boxes a day. At this time of year, we'll get 60 to 100 a day.
And these are just regular blanks, right? Like this is This
Yeah,
is just
so
a
what
regular
you're-
blank
Yeah, what
shirt,
you're-
nothing on it.
Yeah, what you're looking at here is this separated. Fran, who works in the back, and Kelsey, who works kind of oversees her and helps her with this. We have a shop management system that we use, kind of tells everything where to go. Then when it comes in, it's on a sheet and it tells it what order it's with. We put a box in, what it is, and then when it comes down to it and it tells us in the system everything is here, then we put it in the boxes between embroidery and screen printing, and it looks like Ty's shopping right now.
I thought that was a pair of.
That's a girl's tank top, Ty.
Oh,
Ty,
yeah.
I don't think it.
It's not.
No, it's not. No, Ty, that poor customer's gonna.
Sorry.
But we do keep Adidas. As you can see, we just got some Adidas stock in and some Under Armour stock. So we do keep some stuff in stock. Most of the vendors now turn it around in a day or two, but we get some deals on stuff, and that's why we'll bring it in. Just make sure to check Chai's.
What do the numbers? I see some of these boxes have numbers on them. Is that like?
Yeah, that's our product number. So basically,
That's
you can look
yours
at,
or that's Adidas?
that's Adidas, and everything in our system is based on their product
Gotcha.
number.
Okay.
Okay.
That
So
probably
when
makes
you,
it a lot easier for you guys.
yeah, so when we go to order, I can punch in CJ2633, and my system will bring it up and it says that's Adidas. We click on it, it says here's all the colors that you can order in it, and here's the sizes. So black, small, medium, large, extra large, 2X. So we have a shop management system that
Nice.
does all that. And then you click it in and it just brings it right on the sales thing, and then you fill out what art you're going to do to it and where's it going and when's it
Do a
needed.
decimal system.
Do it. Where'd you get that from? Ty,
Nothing.
man, we got to watch Ty.
Let me get the evidence.
He's shopping for real.
Ty, that's a small Ty.
He's got an SC2549 in blue. So make sure you mark that
That's
here
right.
in your Dewey Decimal system.
Under Armour.
Come on, brother. Let's come back this way. So
what's
now
up-
we're coming back
So what's
here.
up with the lint?
Oh, yeah. Well,
What's going on?
Ty kicked me in the foot the other day. No, I was trying to play basketball against a 16-year-old, and at 53,
That didn't work out too well,
yeah,
alright.
if 16 can divide into 53 a couple more times than once, I shouldn't be playing the 16-year-old. So,
That's true.
so basically, what you're looking in this area right here is, and Misty Shima does a lot of great work for us. She cleans our screens. She gets all the screens ready for the jobs that are out there. She gets the vellums. And then she, in our dark room back here, and I don't have to take you back, you wouldn't be able to see anything. That's where we prepare the screens and burn the screens. And she brings them out here and sets them up for the job.
By burning the screens, this is a burned screen, right?
Yeah, so
you're actually
basically,
putting this.
yeah, basically what happens is we put we take a clean screen and fresh. We don't have any sitting here right now. We'll put emulsion on both sides. Sometimes it's 2 on one side and 1 on another. We'll dry it. Then we'll put it on. We'll put the art on backwards because we want to print from this side over on a machine over there, and we do 2-ups on a screen. Then we'll put it onto what's called an exposure unit, which is a 1,000-watt LED light bulb, and we close it, and it's a vacuum thing, so there's nothing but that light goes on there. It burns these vellums, which lay on here in an image. And when you burn this emulsion and take it back and wash it out, you get wherever you see the clear stuff, that's where the ink is going to go through. So when my artists or any of the artists in the shop or any of the guys in the shop set up screens, like this could be, this is Dallastown tennis and Dallastown lacrosse. So anytime you set this up, there could be blue going over it, but this is where the white's going to be. Then the next screen you could have just the middle portion of the D's and the A's and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
You
we'll
do like
see
your negative space and everything.
yeah,
in
they'll
there.
fill
Yeah.
all. Yep. So, and we tool them up so we can change them, and they'll tape them off. And the different color of the screens, like some are clear, like this is for white. It's for fraction of light. So when you have a yellow screen, it doesn't let the light refract. So when you're burning the screen, you'll get an actual crisp line on it. And in white, it lets it refract a little bit.
Now, who invented that? Like, you came out with that. Like, how long has that been around?
Oh, you're asking the wrong guy. Listen, I just know that when I was starting in the business and had to figure this out and was subbing out to a lot of people, I would ask one question after another and just keep track of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it started. There's a lot of guys that I do follow on YouTube and stuff that are extremely intelligent and do the wild, crazy stuff. But that takes time, and that's why they cost a lot more money, or people want to do 1,000 or 2,000 shirts.
Right.
So for instance, I've been to places where it's 10 screens, 10 colors. So they'll print one color, you know what I mean? They'll flash it, it'll go on to the next one, and they'll print wet on wet with 9 other colors on it and come off the other side and they'll put it on.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
think about all the money that's invested all the way around. When you say to somebody, hey, that 9 color is going to be, you know, $20 a shirt, and they go, oh my God, I ain't spending $20. Well, you got 9 colors. Well, that's the only way it's going to look good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I invested $75,000 in the machine. Let's talk about screens. Let's talk about time and everything.
Yeah.
So we priced it down by square foot in here. So we went down. We literally priced it down. How much does it cost me in this area for misting and all this going on?
Yep.
You know what I mean? How much it costs? And then it broke it down so that when you call in for a pricing, we do that. Now, fortunately, here again, I'm in a buying group and I can get some good pricing on stuff. Okay. So you want to move this over? We're going to go over here in this screen, in this embroidery area. This is where all the magic happens over here. So, you coming over, buddy?
He's trying to get through there. The foot's a little wide there.
You can set it down there and we can talk from there. So essentially what you're looking at here, this is our embroidery shop. We have 3 6-head machines, all Tajima. Steve is our rep, he lives up in New Hampshire. Tajima and Barrington are the best machines. These machines are, I think this one's 2 years old. I buy all new. I'm like you, Ty. If my employees come to me and say and I ask them what's going to make you better, they say, listen, this, that, and the other thing, and can you get them a new machine? We buy a new machine, and we get rid of the old one. I don't want to see you do 6 different steps when I can do all of this. So everything in this room is less than 5 years old.
Wow.
And we bought it all. So on this machine, you'll have one side, and this is Brittany. This is lovely Brittany.
Hey, Brittany.
It's like our Vanna, right? It's lovely. Brittany works back in this department with Terry. What she's going to do is on this one, she has some embroidery that's going on a left chest tie, kind of like what Chris has on his shirt. On the back one, she was printing some of that, she's embroidering some of that tackle twill, which we've talked about, Ty, for you getting, which is sewn on twill lettering. So we cut the twill and then you just sew it on. It gives it a real high-end, professional, like old school kind of vibe to it.
Like
on this machine, she put a couple hats on that she started earlier today, and she'll have them running. What you're looking at here is this is some Revolution hats, and we're going to be putting some. Terry tomorrow's coming in to do some names on the back and everything. So I'm going to have Brittany, because it's tough to talk about this. I'll get closer to the camera to talk about a little bit what she's doing.
Yeah, these machines are a little loud.
Yeah, these are a little loud. But when we talk about these machines, you'll see these pictures up in the machines. Yeah, Ty getting his hat out. I'll talk about that too. You'll see the pictures up in the machine. We get your logo digitized. Digitizing is, for a layman's term, is basically telling where this to sew and what color to sew it to. So we have, come on over, Vic. We have 15 different colors on these machines, and basically in here, she told this machine you're going to print on the first run it's going to be white, on the second run it's going to be red, on the third run it's going to be gray, on the fourth run it's going to be black, and it tells it where it is. And we set up our machines so that all of these are in the same unison all the way across, or you would have different colors all the way around. So basically this is your digitized logo. It tells her it's 10,000 stitches. She controls everything from right here. This is what top of the line equipment does for you, because I can't even figure out how to use this. I'm not allowed. I buy all the things in this shop. They don't allow me to run them for good reason. All right. So I just look at them and go, wow, my machine is nice. What's it do? But there have been days that Brittany and I have been here having the machine apart too, haven't there?
Sure.
We have to. So anyhow, you'll see some other equipment. This is a hooping machine. You put the shirt on, you'll be able to put the hoop on to get us to a position where we hoop it. There's a lot of things we can talk about, but what I'd really like her to do is I'd like her to turn the machines on, and then I can add some little commentary about what you're seeing right here. So why don't we back up, Vic, and have her turn on the machines.
Do you want each of them to run at the same time?
Why don't you start one, and then we'll start a second one. I'll talk a little bit, and then Vic can walk around with the camera and see the stuff. This is what we're talking about, the hat, Ty. Everybody that likes this tonight will get a free hat from Ty. Let's get it to 7,000. I got to feed my kids. What you're seeing right here is she's starting it. As we get closer, we'll be able to see it. Go ahead and start that one, Rick. And then I'll walk around and like that. walk over here. Get a little shot on this. Every time somebody comes to a shop like this, this is the most fascinating thing that they buy. This machine works at 1,000 stitches per minute. So on these 3 logos, we'll try and make this be about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. We can turn one faster, and this is all about this machine. And you get an idea of the get an idea of how it works. So supplemental across that is so built. That's just. We walk over to the other machine over here. One of my favorite things, Vic, and I'll stand over this way. So this will give you a good look. This will give you a good look at what tackle twill is. As you can see, it's like a twill material, and on top of that, we're sewing. We sewed down on the sweatshirt to tell where these letters can go. Now over top, we're putting tack down stitches, and then when we come back later, they'll have a satin stitch to make it like real nice and pearly white on the outside. So right now, it's just a kind of just getting it set down, and then we'll come back with all the pretty stitches. What you're seeing over here is hats. We do a ton of hats, but we also work with a lot of elite vendors. So when we work with elite vendors, we allow them to do what we do, but we love doing hats. This one's only set up for 6 hats. We can run 18 hats at a time. A lot of good vendors in our area that have hats. Some hats and make hats. It stopped already. If you had an upper thread break, we were worried about this. So every once in a while, you can just turn that one off. Just turn it off. So every once in a while, you get a thread break. I can't see. I need real good glasses to go down and thread it. But these ladies can do it real fast. So here again, when you're doing a hat, it's different than a regular left chest threading. In a hat, they work from the center out. On regular left chest, they usually go left to right. So that's why you'll see they'll start in the middle. It also gives you center points, so all the hats are exactly the same. Standard logo on a hat is like 2.5 inches high. There are some that are bigger, and when they are bigger, that means they did it before they sewed the hat together. So it's more of a custom product. Why don't we go back up here, and I'll add some more commentary.
I just want to point out real quick, while you're over there demonstrating, I realized that your machine has a safety switch on it. It has a laser that goes in front. If you cross the laser, the machine turns off.
I don't know who paid for these machines, but whoever paid for these machines got safety switches.
I just shut the whole thing down by accident. I thought I broke it.
And to my insurance guy, we wanted the safety switches. We did. They never get shut off. But anyhow, yeah, it's one of the good things that keeps people's hands from going under.
Yep.
Just to give you a little insight about Brittany. So Terry, who works for us, has been doing this probably for 30 years. Just a solid old horse, man. She comes in and kills it. And Brittany's kind of been a real lifesaver for us because she come in wanting to learn all the new stuff and do all the new stuff. She loves to work. She's from Wisconsin. Her husband works for a company over in Lancaster. Now they're kind of here. They live down in Riceville. But she wanted to learn this and has just jumped on board. And you can't pay for that. She wanted to do this. And I'll be sending her off some more classes. She's already talking to me about buying other machines. So, you know, I'm glad she does it. And then Terry helps her out with the little stuff on the side that you can't. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff when you guys do roofs and shingles and windows that you can't pay for that an old timer knows.
Exactly.
Has no time to do it.
Exactly. We got, you know, Denny and Derek and a few guys and Glenn and Chuck and Bob and Chris that have the experience, but you know, when you were saying that, it's about the team that makes the company that you are today.
Right. Yeah. So it's going to run a little bit. So you guys got a little bit. Let's go out and look at the screen printing device.
Right on, man.
So before we go over there, let's show you this side, and then we'll come back over here. So a lot of people ask us where the magic happens. So as I stand here and talk in Vic Films, you can follow me or I can stand beside it. But this area is where what we say the magic happens. So what you're looking at right now, we do close to 1,000 spiritware stores or corporate stores a year. So they get set, printed up, embroidered, brought over, staged out, bags get written out, and then it'll end up looking like a bag. Ty, grab that bag on top there. So Miss Tabby and Danielle, they'll do a bag. It gets labeled out. They'll have their order sheet in it. It'll get wrapped up and put in a bag or shipped if it's shipped, and we'll do shipping. Tabitha Imerbrink works, or Tabitha Miller. She's gonna kill me. Tabitha Miller, her husband Stan, knows a lot about beer. He's a good dude. Her daughter Kelsey works for me. Danielle Weeks works for us here in the back. This is where really it all gets done. This is the heart. We get a lot of stuff in, but when they're here in full action, it's crazy. We can do probably 6 or 7 stores a day where we're bagging them and stuff. If you come in here within the next week, you will see thousands. I mean, they rip through stuff every day, but as it's going, just like today. So we, I guess for one of our vendors, there was 19 pages of stuff that they ordered. So we'll get 300 boxes in. This place will be a zoo. Usually it comes in, it goes out. Ty knows. It comes in, it goes out. Comes in, it goes out. But there's sometimes you can't do that. What you're looking at in the back, that's called a TrueViz machine. So we can do decals and logos. Ty, go shut that door.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. You guys, every single thing, every piece of merchandise, everything that comes through here is touched with human hands. It's boxed and bagged by human hands. You don't have a machine that, down an assembly line that just puts stuff in boxes and ships it for you. Everything is touched.
We're fortunate or unfortunate enough that we're not automated to the extent of that we're taking jobs away from people. That's exactly where we use our automation here to allow us to hire more people. Right. And I've always said it's about quality of life. Ty and I talk about this all the time. It's about quality of life. Look, we work 8:30 to 4:30. We don't do a lot of overtime. If we have to, they'll volunteer or they'll stay. They want to get it done. They take pride in this stuff going out the door. They'll go into a restaurant knowing that somebody's wearing it. They'll be like, "Hey, I made that." You know what I mean? Yeah. And stuff, and it's prideful. So yeah, we all touch it. We all love it. We all, you can't please everybody, and one person's expectations may never be able to be met. Right. We try to do the best we can. From the time they call in and say, "Hey, a back order, my back order isn't in yet," we want to be able to have an answer. And we're working on a lot of stuff where our automation comes in is on that stuff. Where we can pull up a Google chart right away and it says, here's what was back ordered, here's who's got it, here's where we took it, who we deliver it to. We can tell those people, because when you give them answers, as I always say, we want to take the arrows out of their quiver. If they don't have any more arrows to shoot at us, what can they do but nothing but smile and say, "Hey, you're great." And when you do that, excuses are gone. They're going to be the first ones to turn and say, "Hey, can you these guys are quality. Like, I beat them up and whatever." So let's go back to this TrueViz. So on these TrueVizes, we can do them with decals on shirts. We can do decals on cars. We use them for decals on boxes. So that's a little bit about some of the stickers. I mean, we've done many, but we also use it to put up. Yeah, that TC backer. Here's old school. Yeah. Old school. Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on. Shout out to my boys. Shout out to my boys. Shout out to my boys. So, essentially what you're looking at back here is where everything happens. We cut names back here. We bag everything up. Every 50th order we give that's bagged up, we give away, we put a free t-shirt in the bag thanking them for their order and doing it to the T Outfitters. So when you come over this way, this is our staging area. So back here, Vic and guys, what you're looking at is, this is all stuff that was finished today. There's a lot of stuff that already went out. This when you came in this morning, this was packed. You saw all the boxes in the back. They'll be moved over tomorrow. This will be packed again. We do get some stuff done outside of this. You had asked me, Chris. Direct to garment is becoming a big one. Direct print on a shirt okay? And we'll talk more about the prints, but we want to get a machine like that so we can do one-offs. So we'll start to have stores set up for the different high schools and start partnering with them that we can sell stuff and they're going to make money off it and go into a general fund or into their, scholar dollars for scholars, and not affect the school teams that do it or any of the PTOs, but just have it there as a side gig, because sometimes grandmas don't know where to go. So if there's a store that they can go to and the school's still going to benefit from it for the benefit of the kids.
That's a great idea.
So like direct to garment, it's coming down the road, but basically this is nothing but a big printer. Imagine your printer printing that's all this is. The issue is we're coming down the road. They can do a lot of things. They're just getting into doing like polyester and so it doesn't go on polyester oil because it's a water-based ink, but they're getting down the road to do that. But those machines right now, and you'll understand when I say this, you can only print 2 shirts at a time and they're $600,000. So you got to push a lot of product out the door.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But that's coming. There's smaller ones that you can get, but the ones that you want where they do the pre-coat and they do everything inside the machine are really expensive.
Yeah.
But that's something we send them out to. We have a vendor we have a couple vendors that do it, but our main one down in Philly, he's just awesome. We send the product right to him. If it's like a crazy, like I've had some done where they're pictures, and we can't print pictures with that. We could if we wanted to, maybe 10 colors. We send it down and it prints it on looking just like the picture they gave us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we have the ability to do that. So this is our staging area for screen printing. That'll be filled up tomorrow. Also, this is all the orders that were done in the last day. If you want to take here, this is set out. Some of the stuff here, PSA Stocker, they set orders out. We're waiting on a couple pieces that they'll bag up and send out the door. Usually on a turn time, we're about a week or 2 to 3 weeks on a turn time on a Spearware or a corporate store. We do a lot of corporate stores. A lot of times the employer will give them a Christmas bonus that they use on the store, and the employer pays for that. Sometimes they'll just say, hey, go in, I'm going to give every employee $100. They'll do a fall store, and they'll do a fall, winter, and a spring, summer.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that's
I
what
like
they
that a
do.
lot.
They can go in and buy their own, but
Yeah.
they only do it twice a year. And so let's come over here. So this is where all the motorheads like to come over and start touching and feeling. And so that's CJ Bavis back in the back. That's my new rock star. His dad is Chuck, my sales manager.
Very cool.
Him and Corey work back here. Corey's been doing this probably 15, 18 years. CJ's my new rock star that wants to go learn all the new stuff. A couple different type of things about printing you need to know. So we talked about the screen earlier. Right here you get a chance to see when it prints. This is a screen that you saw where we made earlier. Here you're going to get a chance to see when he's putting a shirt on that the ink is on there. He puts it down, it presses the ink through the screen, puts it on the shirt. There's a white base under it so that green doesn't go into the shirt, so it stays on top of the shirt. You see the green real good. So this machine right here, you look at it as a 10 head. We can do up to probably about 700 or 800 shirts an hour as we're going. But we like this because we can do multiple colors and do multiple things on here. We have flash dryers. Everything is contained and controlled from within inside. So he controls everything from over there at his fingertips, and he even controls the heat from the flash units from over there. So essentially what you're looking at in printing here, I think it's a Fujitsu. It's called Good Fight. They're across the country. They do every weekend. They do across the country. They do fights, jiu-jitsu fights, all across the country. So every Wednesday we're printing these and they're picking them up and taking them out the door from us. It's usually to the tune of 200 to 300. This is a smaller event because I think it's in between event. So, but the last one we did last week was 250. So. This is basically what you're seeing. You're seeing some screen printing. Let's walk over this way so you can see. So what you're seeing CJ do right now is we printed the other side, now he's doing the front side. So we'll put the shirt on. You can see him coming over here. Right here the white goes on. When the shirt's done, he'll pull it off and put it on our dryer. Now this dryer we bought from a local company also. Basically, they manufacture these in Pennsylvania. The reason we like this dryer is because if it's 300 degrees, it doesn't feel 300 degrees in your shop. So essentially, when he puts it on that dryer, we can control that heat down to what we need to do. And that is, it makes it real nice so the shirts don't stick together and everything. So when this is Plastisolo Ink. Plastisolo Ink is a petroleum-based ink. And basically, the way we do things, we don't try to put big layers on it. So we don't like big layers on the shirt. We also print water-based and water-based ink and discharge ink. Water-based ink is that. It's a water-based ink that you go slower through the dryer. It takes the water out, leaves the ink behind. Discharge ink is it discharges the color of the t-shirt away and leaves behind another color. So there's multiple different ways we can print it. The discharge and the water-based, if you ever go find a t-shirt that's really a soft print and you can't even feel it, that's water-based and discharge. You will be able to feel this, but the way we do things with our screens and everything, it becomes a soft print after a while. We use one-stroke inks. It's a low temperature, low cure, and they don't crack. So a lot of people have come to me and said, you know, why do my shirts from other vendors crack? A lot of it has to do with how you're curing the shirt. We also use a fan at the end of our dryer. So it takes the shirt from 300 degrees down to 160 degrees. So it's cured, it's dried, we cool it down, they don't stick together. So basically, it's top-end equipment. It's what you use. We do all of our screens here, we do, you know, we try to use everybody local. In the process right now, as you're showing that video, that machine over there, Vic, that's our smaller baby. That's our little baby. That was what we started with. We started with that, another dryer. I'm trading that in. And you know, Ty, I'm going to give you a little shout out. Ty had talked about how you're involved with the community. The old dryer I have, I'm working with Susquehanna High School right now. I'm donating the old dryer I had. I'm donating some other things so that kids that are in that have a learning disability have a class and they want to learn how to do a skill. So I'm donating all that and I'm helping them with their bid and their grant so that they can do that, so that they can print stuff at the school and sell it, and they can get stuff pulled off that. So, yeah, so we're doing that. That was part of that. I've traded this one in, and I got another big one for CJ. He was chomping at the bit to get out of the tricycle and get into the ride a Harley. He wants to ride a Harley, so we're gonna get him a Harley. So basically, what we do is with our inks, we keep them all on the back shelf. As you can see along the back here, Vic, 5-gallon jugs. We go through a 5-gallon jug probably on average. If it's white and black, we'll go through it in a month or less. But here again, it all depends on what's coming through and who has the stuff coming through.
Yes.
So as everybody can see, we're a clean shop. We really like to be clean. We love to take our customers around. We did this shirt for Ty. A lot of people saw him do it.
Yeah.
We did this shirt for Ty. And he was like, hey man, can you make me a fish thing for my buddy's tournament? So we have a real good friend of ours that's a friend of the company. His name is Steve. He's called the T-shirt artist. And literally we draw stuff on napkins and send it down to him. And we were working with Nate Baker at Horizon right now for the chief of the Dover chief that passed, to do a shirt so they could raise funds for that, and it's going to be awesome. The logo is going to be, I mean, it's just going to be an awesome shirt. So I've kind of been talking a lot. I don't know how much time we have. I mean,
you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah.
Let it roll, buddy.
So you know, we're extremely just proud of the fact that we get to work with people like Ty. I mean, and I can go down the list. There's a multitude of people we work in this community that I mean, I could go on and on. The Eric Brewers, the Mike Weckers, I mean, I could go on and on and on. I mean, big corporate business that we do. We do a little bit for Rudders. We did a little bit. You know, we just try to represent the community and that the fact that they've been proud of us. I don't go home. I don't have 6 cars and 3 houses at the beach and all that stuff. I don't do that. I'm like Ty. You know, I want to take care of my employees, take care of our customers, and it'll treat us good. We're in the process right now We've had a huge push from customers in Hanover, so we're going to start pushing towards Hanover too. A lot of them have asked, a lot of them said, how do we get to you? And we just feel the need to go that way. Kind of like you did with Delaware.
Yeah.
Like, what made you go to Delaware and Maryland? It was just
It
people
was a
calling?
big demand, high demand. We've worked there for so long that we were basically forced to go there. We did work for a builder. We still do work for them today. I don't know, 12, 13 years ago, they had bought a bunch of land. They actually bought a local builder in Delaware. So they were coming along with the new builder that they bought. And so we went with them over a weekend. I went down, set up shop, me and my father-in-law, and everything's been history since. You know what I mean? But now we're actually going to set up a shop and focus more on retail stuff. We've always done new construction stuff down there. I want to focus more on the retail and insurance work. We want to learn how to win the storm game. Yeah.
And the other thing I got to talk about, and I didn't say it earlier, the partners that you deal with at your business that help you with your insurance or help you with, and I'll bring up one, it'll make him laugh, Chris, your cell phones and your...
Yeah.
Everybody will know, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But those partners that you have, your accountants.
Yeah.
Tim Oom is
Absolutely.
my accountant. Great
Right.
guy. Pick
Yeah.
up the phone, call him.
Yes.
Like those people you can lean on. You'll know right away when you're in business who is a partner based on how the vibe is when you're around them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And how they
Absolutely.
want to help you.
Right.
You ask a couple questions, tell them what you're, how you feel about stuff. But man, we've had some great partners. Basil Insurance, Dietz and Blewett. We kind of mix it. We try to do it where we give a little bit. I'll do. Basil does some personal stuff for me. They also do one business thing. Dietz and Blewett does some insurance stuff for us. But we have tried to we keep it here, like you guys. Like you try to have the right people that are here, and
Yeah, for sure.
I had a friend of mine, and I have to say this. His name is Kirby Henshaw, great friend of mine. Grew up with him in Redline. So today I went home because I have a bum leg, and we were having a scrimmage down at Pryor. I coached lacrosse, and I missed him because he stopped. He was in town, and I believe for a death, unfortunately. But he's from Alabama. He moved in Alabama. He came in town, stopped, took a picture of him standing outside on the roadway out there where my sign is, like this, and he sent me the picture. And it's such a cool feeling.
Yeah.
Like to know that you work hard and that's kind of how they see you. You know, the giving, you know what I mean? People could be mad at you. They can think whatever they want to think. I'm okay putting my head on the pillow at night,
Yeah,
as
me
I'm
too.
sure you are.
Absolutely.
100%. You're
Yeah.
not ever going to be able to please everybody
No.
in life. You know what I mean? But you can do your best.
Unfortunately
You
Yeah.
can do your best. You know what I mean?
Let's walk up. I want to show you. I don't know how much time we have, but we can walk back up to a showroom. We can go out the other way. We'll walk through the sales department so everybody can see that too.
Yeah, man.
CJ, you the man, bro. All right, man. You know your mom's proud and she's watching right now, isn't she? Hey, get a shot of CJ again. Thank the mom.
Thank you, buddy. You do a great job.
So as I said, this is where the magic happens. Let's go out here. Walk out the shop. In case anybody has a question, we just made a full circle. Yes, we're a square shop. So I'm going to stop right here, Vic. I don't know what you can get in here, what you can't get in here. We have 6 salesmen, 7 including me. But basically this is where they are. This is where everything happens. This is kind of like, they really bounce a lot of things off each other. They work well with each other. This is where your art is made. When your calls come in, this is where they all come. Everybody that comes in here, Todd knows Tammy.
Yep.
I mean, everybody knows Tammy. They always say, hey, if I want to get something done, I just go to Tammy. So, which is true. But Tammy does all of our ordering and all that. But these guys in here get the brunt. Mm-hmm. They build the stores. They get the corporate customers calling, screaming. They get the customers. They don't see a lot of the thank yous. We see them and we can send it out and they can do all of that. But they do a lot. And I wish I could be as patient sometimes as they are. They're way more patient. You know what I mean? Sometimes I want to be able to tell a customer, I don't need you.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll be like, just take a deep breath and we'll work this out. You know, so sometimes I need these guys to call
That's
me.
my Chris Baker.
Yeah. So, yeah. There's times. I mean, literally, there are times I look at Chuck and go, "You need to handle this,"
Yeah.
and that means
Yeah.
I don't want to say anymore. But what I did give them to is a really good environment, like you did. We cleaned it up. We have a place they can come, just like our showroom. Big TV here, so we can do our videos with our reps and all that stuff. We can put everything on there. Everybody has a stand-up, sit-down desk, so you can move around.
Yeah.
We're playing with the one day.
Yeah.
But everybody has dual screens. And the main thing is this is where, listen, we try to give them the best of everything. You know what I mean? And sometimes we can't, sometimes we can. Big shout out to, and I know you have your guy, Matt Bear from Spartan Computers has set up my whole system in here. Hey, he's a good shout out. David Brooks, I know you have your guy, but I'm gonna give some shout outs.
Right on.
David Brooks did helped me with our website, and he does all our, we are a Google house, so we don't do Outlook,
Yeah.
Apple. No, we're a Google house. So,
Right.
so like you have Microsoft Suites or whatever that we use Google, but he helped us set up that. So there's a lot of partners that do this. This isn't just me, but a lot of gut feeling,
Yeah.
a lot of gut win. You know, and I have to say, here's what I have to say. I think what you guys do is awesome. There's a lot of people that do this, but there's not a lot of people that do what you guys do. And I know we all here are proud that we can do your stuff at TC Backer, but I also know that you guys are like, I consider you like brothers. Like when I go up there.
100%, man.
You know.
We look forward to you coming in.
Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
we
And,
definitely
and you know, that's what it needs to be. And it's taught me to listen. We all know we have competitors in our market that do what we do.
Yeah.
It's taught me to be try to be a little bit better, even to help them grow. Because you know what, you can never handle all the business.
Right.
You're never getting all the business, but you need to be able to take care of the business that you can, and you need a good, solid support system. I find it funny that we talk about with our kids your circle of safety. They're in school. They always talk about know who's in your circle, who's in your circle, who you feel comfortable with. We have to do that as business and a community too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to put them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
100%.
And so that's why I take what I do for the employees and who I'm around, you know, and that all comes from watching people like you. It's pretty impressive what you've done.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you, because we watch you too. You know what I mean? You got a good, clean facility, man. You run a tight ship. Like when I say that you're a mentor of mine, I'm not lying. I'm not kidding. I don't know how many things we've bounced, especially over the past 12, 13, 14 months.
Right.
Okay, like I think we definitely have grown closer over the past 12 months and had some intimate moments together and some deep conversations. And
I didn't kiss him yet.
no, not yet, not yet.
I was waiting for someone to crack the
But,
It's always been.
you know, but you've been there for me, for sure. And if I've ever failed you in any way, I apologize, because I always felt like anytime I call you, you answer. If you don't answer the phone, you call me back.
Yeah. Well, that's one of our rules. And let's be honest with you. As much as I've always said to the guys and girls in here, look, answer and call back. Always have an answer.
Yeah.
It might not be the answer they like, but have an answer,
Right.
and not an answer where they go,
Well, we
that's
talk
that's
more on a
hogwash.
personal level than we do on a business level.
Yeah.
Personal speaking about business. You know what I mean? Not because I need something here that you guys do, but more we talk about everything.
Yeah, and it should be that way. You know, the hard thing has been for me, and I'm sure you can say this, we talk about our employees and how close we are, but there is a boss-employee relationship. And you can get close with some employees, and you can't really, you shouldn't really do that because you put yourself in a bad position, but you want to do it. So that's where you have to learn as a person. Like, what is
That's one of the hardest parts about being a boss.
For sure.
Yeah,
is keeping that line
well,
long.
one of the hardest I had was letting go. I mean, there's been multitude of times that Chuck looked at me and said, "Dude," you know what I mean? But he knows that's just not my MO. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have backed off some stuff. I have walked a line a little bit different direction so he could do what he does. But I tell you what, he's my go-to guy. I always go back to him. Hey, what's your thoughts on this? What are you thinking on this? Hey, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
There are some times that I haven't. He looked at me and he just does one of these, like, were you going to tell me?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And I get that. But it is ultimately me that has to answer for all this stuff. And I told him, I was wrong on that, or I should have thought about it, or I pulled a string on. I'm sure there's stuff you pulled a string on and then went, why did I do that?
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah, all the time.
So, but one of our goals
We
is to
learn
move into the Hanover area, just like you are. And we have big aspirations. We looked at this year. We were fortunate. We were able to stay in business. We looked at this year as a year of resiliency, I guess is the word. How resilient are we? We can come into work a day and we can cry and foul, but how resilient are we? How resilient? Hey, CJ. See you, buddy.
See you, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Catch up. Thanks, man. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. That's my boy, CJ.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Thanks, man. But we always talk about that. We always talk about, like, how to be more resilient. Who is resilient? What is resilient? What did we do to become resilient? We didn't know we were resilient. Then we had to learn, like, what is a good resilience? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is, you can be resilient and come back and be like, I'm here, but nothing's square. So you had to think along the lines of where you've never been before. Say, we're going to come in and do this every day, and we're just going to, and as we go along, we're going to allow our gut feeling to carry us.
Right.
And we've learned so much from this past year, right?
I think we all have, man.
Yeah.
I have learned, it was the greatest feeling in the world when my employees were calling me saying, get me off of this, and when am I coming back?
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Get me off of unemployed. I don't care if I'm
Yeah.
getting more money.
Yeah, we had a lot of them as well.
You know?
Nobody really, and honestly, I don't think we really stopped.
Yeah.
We really didn't stop. We gave them a choice, a decision. If you don't feel safe working, we totally understand. We gave them the option. I think that lasted maybe 2 weeks for most of them. But not all of them left either. A lot of them stayed, like Colin and a few of them stuck around. Derek was one of them. Denny, I know Chuck was up calling me. Chuck was one. Brandon wanted to work, but he worked from home because he's got some underlying.
Right.
He's diabetic, so we had him working from home. Chris was working from home.
And ultimately,
Kim Jocelyn and I were still in the office, but we had to keep the machine rolling.
Right.
There was other states.
100%, man.
There was other states that were still operating. Just because Pennsylvania was closed down, we do work in multiple states. We couldn't close.
That's what I say. Ultimately, is you're
Yeah, we
one of
closed.
those
Someone else.
Yeah.
is
So
gonna-
you're not.
yeah.
That's what I was getting
Someone
at.
else is going to do that business.
Yeah,
Someone
we
else is
didn't
going to
wanna
make those
lose it.
shirts.
Yeah.
Someone else is going to put that roof on.
Yeah.
So,
And that was the decision we made.
Right.
We thought, and now that the smoke has settled and the dust is cleared, I feel like we've
made
made
the
the
right
right
decision.
decision.
Yeah.
For sure.
I tell you,
And we doubled down. Janet and I talked about that the other day. When most people were backpedaling, we were doubling down. Whether it be Google Ads, whether it be more billboards, whether it be we took
we hired employees and
we were
and
hiring
bought
more
equipment and
people as
everything.
this was going on.
Yeah.
We made a calculated
decision.
gamble. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it has paid off because
Yeah.
we've hired. We were able to hire more people. We picked up more work. Throughout the whole thing. I mean, it really did. I'm glad we didn't let fear control us.
Yeah, and I'm glad we didn't listen. We had a down year in sales, and I'm going to say this. I don't know, 8 to 10%. But what I was really happy about is we didn't lose any money.
Right.
So what happened is these people coming back to work started deciphering how do we get better, and by them thinking how to do these processes better, it actually saved us in a year that we should have been down.
Yeah.
Not a lot, unfortunate compared to some people. I don't even want the restaurant business took a pound.
Yes.
Yes.
But it allowed them to look at these things and say, or even me, and look at these things and do these things. We hired people. Look, the people that didn't call me and say, I can't wait to come back to work, or when am I coming back to work, don't work here anymore.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't call them back. Because I didn't need them at that point. And if they didn't want to call me and say they didn't want it, then you obviously didn't want to work.
They
So then I
probably
went.
did you a favor.
They did me a favor, and I went and found other people.
Yeah.
Now, did we suffer a little bit sometimes? Yep. Did we work over some overtime? Did I have to pay for overtime because they weren't here?
Right. There
Yep.
was a couple people that it worked out where it was like their true colors showed through, but after reviewing everything, it was kind of like, well, they didn't do so well to begin with.
Right.
So when it happened, it's like, and God, thank God that they were able to collect unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to see anyone struggle or suffer. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
but
you don't
we didn't
want to-
necessarily want them back either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So it worked out.
I just
Not many. There was just maybe
Yeah,
one or two guys.
yeah, we didn't have a lot.
Yeah,
We didn't-
and we're talking out of 49, 50 some people.
Right.
You know,
We didn't have a lot either, but where that thought process came about was when others started calling. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like
Yeah.
I guess what I wanted my employees to really love and care about their job, they did. Because if they're not, they were making an extra $100 a week or something, they didn't know, I don't care.
Right.
And they could have taken another week, or hey, I can go into July, or hey, just bring me back next. And that made me stop and look at it and go,
Yeah.
oh, well, wait a second, I'll work without them, and then I'll find some people. And that's how I found Brittany.
yeah.
And Brittany walked in and said, I don't know how to embroider, I don't know how to do anything. She was working in, psychology, like with a psychiatrist, was working with people, and she would do, like putting all the stuff in. And I was just like, yeah. And she came in, and her husband was like, you ain't gonna do that. And she was like, watch me. And she came in, and next thing you know, she found it fascinating. And that's all it took. Like, I had other people come in and had experience. And I was just captivated by her because she was like, look, I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know people in New York. I'm from Wisconsin. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's awesome.
But, that has helped us. We've had some people. Pat used to handle all equipment. We had to move a little bit because we figured out that you can't sell all equipment. We're not that big there yet, or we're not that deep into that. It'll come down the road. But we needed him to go corporate. We needed him to sell more corporate. And he's really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we needed him to do more corporate.
Right.
And we need to get more. I'm going to be getting more people. I'm doubling down. Like, I got to this year and said, oh, we can get better. Oh, now I'm going to double. Now I'm bringing more people in.
Yeah.
I'm going to Hanover. I want to bring a person in that does our social media marketing and all that stuff. I think I told Ty about that.
Yeah.
I want to bring another person in the back here to help be an assistant to everybody back here that, somebody that's just infatuated with this and loves it and cares about it and wants to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's important, man. It sucks sitting in the office, but,
Yes,
so I ramble on. How much time we got? How much time?
We're over our hour.
We're over our hour.
Oh.
We'll wrap this thing up.
It's all good, man. It's
All I
good.
gotta say is thanks for being here. Welcome to our humble abode. Anybody out there, to the TOutfitters.com. That's the number 2, TheTeeoutfitters.com. You can reach us here at the office, 717-718-5532.
Nice.
Or you can just call Ty.
Or
Chris.
I'll reach you directly for sure.
There you go.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for coming in.
Thank
This is
you.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
I hope you guys do more of this because there's a lot more out there that people need to see that are businesses
For
like
sure,
this.
local businesses
Yeah.
supporting local businesses, man. That's what it's about.
We need to do a barbecue in the spring up at the shop. Up
There
in
you
the
go.
shop.
Yeah.
Have your show.
Well, we got to make up for the Christmas party that we didn't have last year.
100%.
So I wanted to have like a Christmas in June Christmas party or something, or a
Do the show from there.
spring fling
that
or
would be
something.
cool, man.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll come up with something for sure.
Yeah.
Carmine, if you're watching, man, I think maybe your shop should be next.
Yeah.
Carmine, Pantano. Shout out.
I think that should be our next
He was
one.
on
Is
there,
he?
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Let us know when.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Really
actually
cool
have
one,
a
man.
great show next week.
Yeah, we'll even bring Chris along.
Evolve Stone coming in next week, so next week will be a good show. The next
Oh, is that
one-
the stone facing the fashion?
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
So that's gonna be a great
And
show.
you're getting into solar?
Yeah, and getting into solar. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, congratulations on being elite master, whatever.
Master Elite
roofer.
GAF.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you.
means a lot. I know it means a lot.
It does.
I had to ask.
Yes, it took us 5
There's
years.
only like what 2% of the people in the country. That
Yes,
do it.
that's right.
Yeah.
You're
Hey,
right.
I just wanted to shout out.
You know
'cause
more about it than I do, man. That's awesome. Well, you just heard me say it to you 50 times.
the second one.
Right.
And by the way, I just got to tell you that crew over Horizon.
Mhm.
Those guys, man, are just hustlers.
They are
And,
hustlers.
Absolutely, man.
and,
For sure.
hustlers. They do you right.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
And they serve the community, aren't they? All mostly firefighters.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
shout out to the fire. We do a lot
I
of
think all of them
firefighters
are.
and police
Yeah,
officers.
actually.
And,
Yeah.
and all that. I just want to say to anybody out there that's suffering, I lost my dad due to cancer, but we have people that are suffering from COVID and all that. Our prayers are with you guys.
Absolutely.
We go through this and we've been blessed and been fortunate. I had COVID. I didn't have it very bad. There's people in my office that had COVID. They didn't have it very bad.
Right.
But what I want to say is, to you that are suffering or hurting, there's people out there that care about you, and we all love you, and we appreciate if you're watching.
Yep. Thank you guys
absolutely.
very much.
Yes. We'll catch everyone next week. This was a great show, Chris. Thank you for having us in here, man.
Yeah, man.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate it, brother. Really appreciate it. We'll catch
Thanks,
everyone
Nick.
next week,
Yeah.
episode 64. Make sure you guys tune
See
in.
you
We got
guys.
Evolve Stone coming out.
Yes.
Mark Jones. We got a master installer coming. We're going to be showing off how this stuff's done, man.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna have to get Mark Jones a new hat.
Yes. Yes, work on that.
Maybe we should get Chris up to put the
Hey, if you're not
Evolve
doing
Stone.
anything next week, come in and you can install some Evolve Stone yourself.
Oh, me?
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
see how that
Yeah.
stuff works.
I don't even know how to use a hammer, bro.
You just-
You don't need a hammer.
You don't need a hammer.
Don't need a hammer.
No.
You just got to stay away from the controls.
Yeah, that's true. Just stay away from the volume.
Kick
Thanks, guys. Have
Yeah,
a great
see
night.
everyone next week.
Thank you.